All right, so we'll see if anybody comes on here. See if I can get that angle.
It's a come for 20 extra workers, but you think they're going to be here for 20 more weeks?
Yeah, right. Hey there, Susan's there. Good to see you, Susan.
Hi.
Hi. So it looks like there's going to be a small grouping today. I've got Barbara in the room with me. Oh, there's Jill. That's good. Hi, Jill.
Hi, how are you?
Just fine. It's nice to see you. So Meryl's not coming. I don't know if we're going to see Cheryl. Yay, there's Cheryl.
Oh, good.
Hi, Cheryl. So that's good. Oh, I have to hit play here. That's what I forgot last time. I screwed up and didn't hit start. There we are. Okay, so maybe the Instagram people can find me too. So, yeah, I think Tasha fixed it. That's really good. Tasha fixed it so I don't have to tell each individual to come in, you know, like where they have the waiting room thing. So that's good. Hi there. We've got Dana. All right. Good to see you. Welcome to your Yin class. Thursday night Yin class. Let's start in butterfly. So I got a beautiful mask on today. Does anybody here know Amy Copeland? She takes classes at the sporting club. And she teaches clothing construction at Philadelphia University, which was bought by Jefferson College. They're branching out from just medicine. And anyway, she takes old materials, old clothing, and makes it into new things. So everything is recycled, which is a really good aspect of it. But her craftsmanship is just, I'm just going to take this off for 1 second and show you.
We'll just take it off.
Yeah, go ahead. It's just the two of us. Barbara's 10 feet away from me, so I think we're okay. And she calls this a bridal mask. So it has this beautiful detailing and embroidery on there. It's really nicely done. And it's from an old piece of something. I don't know. It's not corset material, but it has kind of that weight to it. And then she has her little logo thing. Let's see if that shows. Raina, Rainaluela. And so I'll show you guys too. Let's see where that is. And she sells these, they're $20 a piece, and they come in a washing bag. So you have, the bag comes with it, and you put it in that bag, and then you put it in your washer, so these little things don't get all screwed up on your clothing, right? Because that's really bad. You don't want to throw them in by themselves. And then they have loops that go around the back of your head, so they don't go around your ears, but you can cut them easily and tie them if you like them around your ears. So anyway, I just mentioned that because she's got a really nice little business going, and she doesn't just sell masks, she sells other things too. So Barbara and I are going to leave them alone, and we're happy in our, she's very far away. She's at the other side of the room, and you guys, I can't get you guys sick because it's all virtual. So this is good. So you can have your heels close to your hips. I shouldn't just say the name of the posture. I should tell you exactly what it is because I know you can't, not everybody can see me. So you've got the soles of your feet together and you have your knees wide. Now the knees are dropping down to the side. If that's comfortable for you, you leave it just like that. If it's a little uncomfortable in your hip joint or if it's too much pulling on the inner thighs there, you put something underneath your knees to prop it up just a little bit. But we want that stretch. Ideally, we're getting a stretch on the inner thigh there on both sides. So we call this one butterfly, and we'll be here for 1 more minute. And if you want to round yourself forward here, you can do that. So Cheryl, I'm going to just talk for a second about a different class. So there's a Tai Chi class at 10:30 on Wednesdays that Kenny and Bashira, I don't know if you guys know them, but they're wonderful Tai Chi and Qigong teachers. And they're teaching here at the club on Wednesdays at 12:30. And we want to start a virtual thing with them. So I'm going to I talked to Tasha about it this morning, and I'm going to be streaming that class on the Zoom platform on Wednesday. So Cheryl, That's for you, and that's for Anna Maria, and it's for anybody else who wants to study Tai Chi. They're excellent teachers.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's good. So my next challenge, I'm going to go outside because we've been trying to practice outside when the weather's really nice. Like beside the building, there's a nice little patch of green. And we did it there yesterday. It was yesterday, and it was beautiful. Let's come on up here. So just sit up. Ooh, my back's been a little tight, so I'm feeling that. We're going to do a half butterfly. So let's take the right leg out and put the left foot into the right thigh. You're going to turn towards that extended leg, and you're going to let your spine round forward. So if you're dealing with like heavy duty osteoporosis, I don't recommend rounding forward. I mean, you can just let your head drop a little bit if that feels good. But if you've been told to be super careful, like if you've got osteopenia, it's not going to be bad. But if you've got heavy duty osteoporosis and you're taking those drugs for it, I would just keep a flat back, and you could lean forward at the hips with a flat back. Let me see if I can demonstrate that. So that would be, so this is rounding, right? So that's called flexion. And then if you're bending forward at the hips, it all comes at the hip joint and the back stays flat. So you can monitor that very nicely. You just let your body hang there. And we're going to do one more minute here. So what I was starting to say about the Tai Chi is I want to see if I can get a Wi-Fi signal outside on the grass. That would be very cool if we could broadcast from there, if we could stream. Broadcast is an old-fashioned word. If we could stream from the grassy part beside the building. So I'll check that out. And Cheryl, let me know. I'm thinking of you and Anna Maria. If there's anybody else who had been in the class who should be notified, I know Pat should be notified. But Andrew and Meryl and I have been coming in and doing the class outside with them.
Can you hear me, or am I muted?
You just unmuted yourself. I mean, I can hear you.
Okay. I just didn't know. I'll think of if there's anyone else that we should let know.
Okay. You can all mute yourself if you want to. But I kind of like the Zoom because if you want to say something or ask a question, it's fine. And this class doesn't make much noise. Let's put your hands down, and press yourself back up. Ooh, okay. Let's put the hands behind you. Bend your knees and put your feet flat. Your feet are wide, and just rock your knees side to side. Oh, it's nice to have the mask off, isn't it? Oh. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Now, your left leg is going to be out, and we're just going to do the same thing, other side, half butterfly. It's a nice posture. So you're going to have that heel on the bent leg as close to your groin there as you can manage. And you're going to lean forward with a rounded back or a flat back. So stay in this posture. I'm just going to check the screen here. Oh, David is there. Hi, David. And Ronnie is there. Wonderful. Okay. Welcome to class. I was thinking this is probably not the ideal time for somebody to join a gym who hadn't been to that gym before. But I know some people don't really like to go and be in a gym. They feel, you know, according to the Planet Fitness ads, people feel judged or whatever. And it's kind of nice then having your freedom to do the work that you feel like doing and just skip the stuff that you don't feel is appropriate for you. Anyway, I'm just hoping the club can manage through this. Press your hands down on the ground. Let's come on up. So of course there's a library on Instagram TV where all the clubs, all the classes are there, not just mine, everybody's at the club, and also on the Zoom thing. So you can avail yourselves of that if you can't make it at a certain time. So let's, you're gonna get a prop. It could be a block, it could be a ball, and we're gonna do Bay Bridge posture. You know, I was down in Cape May last week and I saw the Bay Bridges, you know, those low, long bridges that go from the mainland over to, you know, Ocean City and Cape May and all that. That's why I call it Bay Bridge. So anyway, that's what you're making out of your body. So you're gonna lie flat on the ground. That's the best way to approach it. And then make sure your head is down. Make sure everything is down. Your knees are bent and your feet are flat. And then you press into your feet, lift your hips up high enough that you can get that support underneath your tailbone. Very, very low underneath your hips. And it's nowhere near your back. And then from there, you want to be mindful. If you've got a tender back, you're going to be mindful that maybe your legs won't extend the whole way out, but you're going to start to walk your feet away from you. And then the heels can go as wide as you like. They don't have to stay on the mat. They can go wider. And if you're creating tension in your lumbar spine, so it's going to start to feel a little tense, and you're going to walk your legs perhaps all the way out. So maybe the legs will be straight and the feet will be relaxed. Susan, was that your husband? Probably. It's fun to see other people. I like watching Tasha when she was teaching from home and her dog would walk through the frame. And you see that in Nathalie Wenzel's frame too. That's fun. So you're creating tension in your back. That's good tension. So not all tension is bad. We need tension, right? We need exercise to keep the body healthy. So it's always a matter of how much and where we're creating the tension. So you are a long, low curve. Your pubic bone is the highest point on your body right now, unless you've chosen to keep your knees bent, okay? And you're creating compression there in your joints there, in your lumbar spine, in those 5 joints. And you're creating tension on the front edge, the part of the spine that's towards your inside, right? You're creating length there on all those little ligaments. One thing I like about the yin practice is that kind of invites you to pay attention to these more subtle, smaller muscle groups. I just lifted weights, so I was just downstairs with Carol Caton and she was taking me through my paces on the X-Force machines. And you know when you're doing your triceps there, and you know when you're doing your lats, and it's these big muscle groups. And that's all great and wonderful, and it keeps you nice and strong. But it's a kind of high contrast to come into your yin class and suddenly be aware of the front edge of your lumbar spine. It's very particular. You usually don't feel it, but you're getting a little stretch there. And that's great. This is a really great posture. We're going to have 2 more minutes here. So you stay right there. I'm going to go get another prop. Barbara, can I bring you a ball?
I'm okay with the block.
You're okay with the block?
Yeah. What are you gonna do with the
Because we
block?
were going to do hero's posture. And that's the one where your knees are bent and your heels are up towards your butt and you're, I'll leave it.
Okay.
And if you want, you can use it. You're in your final minute here. So when we practice yoga, it's a little different than, right, lifting weights or doing Pilates or any of that cool stuff. You're breathing into the place where you're feeling the tension. So you're sending attention to the place where you have tension. One of the things that that does, well, it gives you more knowledge about your body, which is always great. But the thought is that you're teaching your body, right? You're teaching your body how to take care of yourself. We learn better. We have to pay attention in order to learn. And what I find at my age now is it's not like you learn about your body and that's it. You know, you can just turn off that sense. Is your body is constantly changing and evolving. And we have to pay attention all the time. My husband's having a bout of back pain and it's really hard for him to let himself not work out for a few days. Start to walk your feet back. But that's exactly what he's doing. Right? And so press into your feet, lift your hips up, and take that object out. And just feel what you feel here. So it's subtle. There's a lot going on. It's not like doing a bicep curl. It's not that simple. Float your knees up towards your chest and wrap your fingers around the front of your kneecaps and roll yourself around a little bit. Massage that area that you were just challenging. Nice, nice, nice. Good. I hope that felt really good. So you had a little bit of a forward bend before in the first work we did, and now we just did a little back bend, so flexion and extension. Let's sit on up here. And this is where we're going to use you may or may not use the ball. I'll demonstrate it. We're going to do, well, if you want to do a full hero's posture and you know what that is, you can do it. But I'm going to teach a saddle posture. So here we are. Your knees are wide. My knees are about as wide as the mat is. My toes are all the way together behind me. So that creates a triangle. So that's very stable. And then you can sit back on your heels. So that may work for you. That might be fine. Notice that it's very challenging you would definitely want to be on something very soft because your front of your foot is down and the front of the foot is bony. So you want to be on a rug or on a mat or both. It also can challenge the ankles, right? So you can put a rolled up blanket underneath your ankles if your ankles are unhappy. So Ronnie, that applies to you. I know your body, okay? But for right now, it's like a little bit too much for my knee. So what you're gonna do there is put something below your tailbone. So I'm gonna put the ball between my tailbone and my heels. And that takes the pressure off the knee. Okay? Now, maybe most of you will stay right here. Ask yourself, are you feeling a stretch in your thighs? Barbara's feeling a stretch in her thighs. So, if you want more stretch, you start to lean back. and the hands can go behind you. So obviously you're in charge of how far back you go. So Cheryl, sometimes you go back really far. That's a possibility. If you've set yourself up in front of the couch, you can just lean back against the couch or a chair, something like that. So I've got a big stretch, whoa, of my quads. Barb, you feeling this?
Yeah.
She's feeling it, folks. It's a good one. Woo, that's even a bit much. So I'm gonna hang out right here. I would love to have a sofa right behind me. That'd be perfect. But this is nice. So the situation up here in this third floor in the room is very nice. We have the windows open. Nice breeze coming through. All right, so since we're here for 4 minutes in this posture, right? The first minute I couldn't lean back, but now my body's gotten a little more used to it. So I can put my hands back there. It's a lot of tension in those muscles. So I'm gonna breathe right into that. You're gonna bring your attention to where you're feeling it. So when I'm doing weightlifting, I'm not meditating. I'm just yakking away with Carol. We have a good time. We talk about everything. She's going to the beach next week, and we talked about that. And that's all good stuff. Talked about restaurants. But when you do yin, it's a very different sensation. So you're starting your final minute. Is there anywhere where you can relax into the tension intentionally? I don't know if any of you took my Tuesday class on Instagram. I apologize, I screwed up the Instagram feed, so I'll make sure that that is working tomorrow morning. So let's start to come up right here. Good. If you chose to use a ball, take that out. You're going to find yourself on hands and knees. So you've just taken the pressure off the knees and off the quads. You've got your hands down. You've got your knees down. Let's take one leg back. So one leg back, that toe tucks underneath. You press the heel back. And that should feel just wonderful. Let's lift the leg off the ground. Let's flex that ankle and point the toe. Flex that ankle and point. One more and point. And put that knee down. Okay, other side here. Take that left toe, tuck it underneath, press the heel back. Nice. And then lift the leg up, doesn't have to be real high. And you're gonna point the toe and flex that ankle. One and the other. Good. One more. Nice. And then put that knee down. We're gonna come all the way down on the ground and we're gonna do that arm work. So let's see, I gotta set this up so you can see me. All right, Sphinx arms. So it's like you're in the desert in Egypt, right? Your forearm is perpendicular to the floor. You're gonna take your left hand, take one hand, put it behind the opposite elbow. Now don't move the opposite elbow, keep it where it is. Slide it off. So the arm that's in front, that elbow bends and you put your forehead on there. And take your hips, once you get there, and just wiggle your hips from side to side. Don't let the right hip peel up. Nice. Nice. Okay, so we want to make that right side as heavy as we possibly can. If you want to drape, it's interesting. Nathalie Wetzel did it the opposite way than I usually do it. I usually weigh it down with the opposite leg. But she used the leg on that. So let's see, let's try that. Let's do the right leg over the left. You know, these things aren't written in stone. It's all kind of experimentation. So I hope you're feeling tension in the front of your left shoulder. That's the work here. But it's not just the front. What you're doing is you're taking the scapula, that flat triangular bone on your upper back there on the left side, and you're pulling up the inner edge of it, just like if you were getting a massage on your back, and your masseuse stuck her fingers underneath the inner edge of that flat blade and pulled it up a little bit and created some really nice tension underneath that shoulder blade. Especially for women, it can be hard getting the arm in the right position. You might have to bring the lower arm just like right below your collarbones to make that work. But once you find the shape, can you drop into it a little more? You have another minute here. Since we spend so much time in these yin postures, sometimes it's kind of invites a little meditation, or at least thinking about where you like to be. You know, if you like to be on your deck or on a beach in the sunlight, someplace wonderful. You can transport yourself there. Take another inhale here. And exhale. Let's start to come out of that. You're going to pull that arm out. So sometimes it gets a little numb underneath there. So take it out to the side, move it around, float it around. If you want to wing like a bird, do that. And then here's what we're going to do. You're going to leave the left arm out there, bring your forehead down on the ground again. Take the left arm and bring it on your back palm up. So you're just taking that arm through its range of motion. If you feel like bringing your right arm around and pulling it over, you know, bringing those hands together and just pulling it over a little bit, you can do that. But it's not necessary. You're just changing position. There's a ton of mobility there, and you want to maintain that. You want to be able to reach the top shelf in your kitchen, in your medicine cabinet. And let's start to release that. Good, good. Okay, back to that Sphinx. We're just going to take it to the other side. So the arm you didn't do goes, so I have my right hand behind my left elbow, and I slide it off there. So it's a little awkward. Let your forehead rest on the front arm. Wiggle your hips side to side. Make sure the left side of your body didn't peel up off the ground. So if you don't feel any tension here, it might be because the left side of your body did peel up. So you want to imagine that it's pressing down, that that left hip is in contact with your mat. So most people, when they've been practicing yin for a while, they just kind of like the feeling of coming into the postures. It just feels nice. And the postures are all pretty simple, so there's not a whole lot of complexity here. But there is definitely an element of discomfort. You're sitting with the discomfort. You have another half a minute here. Okay, let's start to pull that arm out. Ooh, I'm really feeling this side. Okay, wing it up and around. Yep. And then you're going to take it, you're going to put it palm face up on your low back. Okay? So the elbow is probably off the ground. You can use the other arm as an assist if you feel like I'm reaching around and kind of pulling it over a little bit, but you don't have to get aggressive. Oh, yeah, taking that out. Okay. It's funny how it feels different from one practice to the next. So let's just flip over. We're going to stay with the arms. We're going to add the legs. You can have, if you've got a couple of blocks or something, you might want them under your legs. You'll see. So just flip over. Okay. And we're going to do a sleeping butterfly. Okay. So you know the butterfly thing. Your knees are bent. Your feet are together. The knees drop wide. So that's where you might decide to put something underneath your thighs there. Or we're going to add the arms. So what the arms are going to do here is the arms are going to fold over your upper chest. So the same region we were just in, but it's both arms crossing each other. Okay? And then the hands just flop down on your side. Your chin is right in line with your collarbones. The back of your neck is nice and long. So the chin is not lifted up towards the ceiling particularly. You want to drop your chin a little closer to the collarbones. That keeps the back of the neck nice and long. But the sides of your shoulders have rolled up a little bit here. And we just have 1 minute here. So the arms stay right where they are for the moment. I'm sorry, the legs stay where they are. The arms are going to change. Notice which arm is closer to your face, and we're going to change that up. So reach your arms up towards the ceiling, refold them with the opposite arm in front. So just a minute. All right, let's bring the arms up and rotate your wrists, rotate your arms. Just let it feel all fluid. Don't even think about it. As your knees float up and your feet go flat, walk your feet kind of as wide as your mat and let the knees knock together, okay? As the arms are moving here. That's good. Okay, now the arms come down to the ground. Bring your feet up towards the ceiling. Legs come up. All right, so your back is kind of flat here. You're going to flex your ankles. That means your toes pull towards the knee. And then put your toes up. Let's do it again. Flex and point. And flex. Nice and long in the calves there. And then kind of relax your ankles. Now, we're going to just press one ankle, one heel up towards the ceiling, and then relax that leg. So it goes from slightly bent to very straight. Opposite foot. Press the heel up, as if you could press the ceiling up. Okay, so just super duper mild movement. Opposite heel up and down. And one more time, up and down. Now we're going to move into a little hip work. So you're going to come around and sit up. I'm going to give you a couple options. So if you know what pigeon posture is, that's the one where one knee comes forward and the foot is on the shins on a diagonal. The opposite knee slides back. Let's see if you can see me here. My opposite leg is back, so you feel a big pull on that one with the bent knee. All right, if your knee bothers you, this is not an appropriate posture for you. Then you don't do it. Susan, I don't know what's appropriate for you since we haven't really met in the classroom. But one other option, I'm just going to show you, is to be on your back with the same leg, the ankle on the knee. That takes all the pressure off the knee, but it gives you a little bit of stretch on the hip. And you can put that bent, the foot on the wall. You put the foot on the floor or on a wall. That gives you a little more pressure on that hip. So that concerns me a little bit. If I don't know somebody, I really feel you need to know that.
Thank you.
If you want to go a little bit, pardon me?
I can do the pigeon.
You can do pigeon. Do pigeon then.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
If somebody knows broken triangle, that is also a possibility, and I will just demonstrate that one. I'm going to do it with my opposite leg since it'll be more visible. So instead of the front knee being bent and in front of you, you can bring that leg straight off that opposite side. It gives you a much, much bigger stretch in the lower hip. But you're trying to face the floor. So it's just an option. If it's confusing, just go back to pigeon. Is that working for you, Barbara?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, doesn't that feel good?
It's good.
It's a good twist. It's a great twist if you opt for that broken triangle thing. So hopefully not too many options. It's pretty intense. And if I can do it on this side, this is the side with my hip replacement, that's pretty good. All right. So once again, breathing into it. It's pretty common with yin postures for some postures to feel like super comfortable. You don't even really feel much tension, just because your bone structure is such that it's just how your body processes it. So a lot of yoga teachers say that we store tension in our hips, but I have found working for 20 years now with real live students that, yeah, that's true of some people, but some people are extremely mobile in their hips. And other people, even though shoulders are more mobile in general than hips, some people are much stiffer in the whole shoulder girdle. So it's sort of wherever we have our own personal weak links, that's where you're going to feel it the most. And that's where you need to send it a little more love and affection. So we're coming up to the final half minute here in this posture. Oh my, yes, yes. Well, Barbara and I chose the broken triangle option, and boy, we're feeling it. Let's come on up. If you chose the broken triangle, you might want to come around and just face behind you. Bring that totally unwind. That's a really heavy duty rotation. Woo! And let your legs come out in front of you. You can do a forward bend or whatever you feel like doing here. So Barbara's doing a forward bend. I'm doing a little bit of a back bend. Okay. No surprise here. We're going to go straight to the other side. All right. Let's do it. So our pigeon, our sleeping pigeon gets called, sleeping pigeon. And I'm going to take mine into a broken triangle. So I'm going to come down on that front hip and extend the leg straight out to the side. With my chest still facing the floor, that means you have to do a big rotation. So if you're on Instagram, you can see my foot out to the side. So the back body there, I'm trying to get my back kneecap on the ground. Barbara, is your kneecap anywhere near? So almost, yeah.
On this side.
On this side it is, yeah. Yeah, this really highlights the difference one side to the other, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, big time. Yeah. Woo. So this side I have to approach a little more gingerly, so I'm staying a little more upright. And of course, if I had a nice big bolster underneath me, that would be great. So if you have, pillow cushions are great for this sort of thing. That's where it makes being home kind of ideal for this practice. You're in your final minute here. So whenever you're in a posture with your forehead down, face forward, it's always a little more interior, a little more contemplative. Take another inhale here. And exhale. Start to walk your hands back. Oh yeah, so I'm gonna come out of this the same way. I'm just gonna roll onto my butt there and let the legs come straight out. So whatever feels like a release, that's where you're going. I think this time I'm just gonna round myself forward. Very gently. We wanna get a little sideways work in. Right, the part that nearly all of us forget is the side body. We don't want to forget that. So we're going to sit. If you're in a narrow space, you're going to sit sideways. Now I'm going to prop the knee on my bent leg up because that will aggravate me. So I'm going to bend one knee, have the opposite leg straight. Doesn't really matter which one. We're just going to go from one straight to the other. Now pull the heel of the bent leg, pull that closer to the groin on that side. So it's pulled up, whoop, as far as it'll go, okay? I'm putting a ball under the knee. You do not have to. I want you to face your bent knee. So my right knee is bent. So my left hand is gonna cross my body and I'm gonna look over my right shoulder. So you find that rotation here. It's just to get your spine used to this. And then the hand that's on the knee, bring it back to the extended leg. Lift the opposite arm up. You're staying sideways here. So my right shoulder is directly on top of my left shoulder, and you're going to go sideways. So this is kind of the most active of the side bends that we have. So sometimes we do sidewinder with the ball underneath us. Sometimes we do banana asana. But we're going to do this one, and I will time it precisely. It's just 2 minutes on each side. Sometimes my upper arm just gets tired. You don't have to hold it there. I'm just going to rest my arm on the top of my head. That keeps the shoulder open. The armpit is open there. But if that aggravates your shoulder and that becomes the subject of the posture, just let the arm come down. You don't really need it. It's just adding a little extra weight. When the arm is above there, you're going to feel more stretch in your side body. I feel it in my waist. Barbara, do you feel that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Yeah? You have 1 more minute here. You know, I'm hearing kind of like banging sounds. I think probably it's good if there's noise in your environment that you just mute the thing. Now take your upper arm and just drop it down. Oh boy. I'm going to press into my hands and come on up. Ooh, you feeling that? Okay. Let's do that thing where we just windshield wiper the legs again. Okay, so the hands are behind you. The knees are bent. You just rock your knees. Makes it easier to go into the second side. All right. So the side you didn't do. Pull that heel all the way up to the groin. Turn to face the bent knee. So this time it's my left knee, so my right hand comes over, and I'm spinning all the way around. I'm trying to look behind me. Okay. The hand that's on the knee comes to the extended leg. Opposite arm comes up, and you're going off to the other side. So the hand rolls down the leg, slides down the leg, right? Sideways. So I find there's usually resistance when you get to the other side because the first side's stretched out in the opposite direction. And you're feeling that right now. So keep the upper armpit open. The tendency is for the upper arm to drop forward, but you won't let that happen. I'm going to rest my upper arm on my head. And what you will find over the course of these 2 minutes is that you will drop just a little further down. So you're starting your final minute here. So I read a book at the beach by a man named James Nestor. He's a journalist, basically, but he's somebody who's had breathing problems his whole life. So he decided to research it, the breathing and, respirational issues and all that. So he wrote this whole book. I was surprised to see that it's actually on the bestseller list. He's got a lot of information in there. You got a few more breaths here. Let the upper arm drop down in front of you. Rise on up. So I read it when I was at the beach. And a lot of it I already knew from studying yoga, because you study a lot about anatomy and breathing when you practice yoga. Bring your legs out in front of you. Let your arms rise up here and just take yourself forward. So just a little bit of caterpillar here. All right. Of course, your knees never have to be perfectly straight. That looks good, Jill. So he did reference some of the breathing exercises that we've done from time to time in here, like the alternate nostril breathing. But basically, it was the kind of breath that we normally do in here, which is a normal inhale with an elongated exhale. And one of the takeaways from the book was that maintains the proper ratio of oxygen to carbon dioxide in the body. So carbon dioxide, yeah, we do breathe it out, but it's not like it's a toxin for us. We have a lot of carbon dioxide in our lungs at all times. And what we need is the proper ratio. By slowing down the exhale, we're creating the proper ratio. Walk your hands back, and you're going to rise on up here. So here, no, congratulations to me. I left us enough time for a good final posture. So you can have your legs up the wall. You can have traditional Shavasana. You can get clever with your pillows at home. You can put your legs up on the wall. So if you're doing that, you're lying down and your heels go on the wall. So you're just resting your head back, which is really nice. It's an inversion, without having to balance or having any neck issues or anything like that. So you're going to choose whether you're going to take traditional Shavasana, just lying on your back. You can have a pillow underneath your knees, whatever feels really nice. So we're coming out of tension at this point. We're not intentionally creating any more tension. If you want to do a heart bench, I can't see you, so I can't stop you. So if you want that, go ahead. All right, but make sure that once you get there, we're going to follow that breathing pattern. You're going to take a nice inhale for 3, for 2, for 1. Now your exhale is going to go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's the ratio. Inhale for 3, for 2, for 1. And exhale longer, right? So you can find that rhythm. You can count to yourself, or you can just feel the rhythm. So one of the more intriguing ideas in the book is that he was saying that in cultures all around the world, there are prayers with words that have that basic rhythm. That there's a rhythm of 3 or 4 on the inhale, and then 4 to 6 on the exhale. And it was a surprising finding for him. It surprised me. I thought that was kind of interesting. It makes sense, especially with some of these religious traditions where you're saying the same prayer over and over, and it becomes a litany. It becomes a method of meditation. So I'm going to let you lie there in silence for another 1 more minute. So you're going to start to roll off to your left side, rest there. Take another deep inhale, nice long exhale. Press yourself up to sit. And we will end together here. Very nice. Let's sweep the arms up. Inhale. Bring your hands right down to your heart. Exhale here. And namaste. Thanks for joining me. You can unmute yourself and say, hey, hey.
Hey, hey, thank you.
Thank you, guys. So nice to see you all.
Bye.
I will post this. Yes. I'll see
Thank
some of you
you so
guys
much.
tomorrow morning at Body Architecture.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.